and it seems to be very successful. We'll see how he goes tonight. Guys?
He has been very fast all night long. I didn't think I'd ever hear the words, somebody's a little bit shorter than Levi Lavallee, but two great racers who are in impeccable shape. And, of course, you can see that their off-season program really worked for them.
And you see, these guys getting ready. We're talking 14 laps around a demanding racetrack. Lap times around this racetrack for these guys probably in the 28, 29 second range. So, it's pretty demanding, small frame, but I'll tell you what, these guys are great athletes. They're ready to go racing.
It has been an absolutely fantastic night of racing for this Pro Light division already. The first final of the year for AMSOIL Championship Snowcross, powered by Rams Pro Light division. They are ready to throw snow from the front row. Let's see who gets that stud boy hole shot. It's almost in the starter's hands. 15 sleds ready to go racing. As you can see them spread across right there, and the 5 sleds behind them waiting to see who goes where. We've got 10 sleds on the front row, and somebody had broken the light, but they're back behind the light again. And we are ready to go racing the Pro Light division from Duluth, Minnesota. It's in the starter's hands. And they're racing in Duluth. 15 sleds into turn 1.
Your number 1 qualifier lined up right in the middle, got pushed out just a little bit, so he is going to slot back to about 4th place. You see some Arctic Cats up front. Is that Montana Jess?
I believe Montana Jess got the Stud Boy Hole Shot Award and right now has the lead as they head down the hill for the first time.
And right behind him, the number 221, that's Daniel Benham. Benham racing as a factory Arctic rider this year. So Arctic Cat with a couple of sleds up front, 1 and 2. Then you've got Cole Coutu, first year as a Pro Light rider, sitting in 3rd place.
Montana Jess and Daniel Benham are battling it out up front. You can see Benham looks to the outside. Will he try a swoop move? No, he'll hang out and be patient for a moment. Meanwhile, Montana Jess out of Massachusetts is the man on the point right now.
In some of the heats, we've actually seen that top line on the top part of the racetrack be a little bit faster. We'll see if Benham keeps working it. Oh, they get together a bit.
He comes in hard right there and swaps paint, but lets off enough to let them both get out unscathed. A smart move for a young rider right there to make sure it didn't take both of them out.
Let's watch Benham now, see if he goes outside again. He does.
Extreme outside that time.
Last time, very tight between these two drivers. There you see Benham working the outside, and he's got a little smoother line initially, but it's Montana Jess. He is out front.
Again, Montana Jess is your leader. You see him just leaning real hard as they make it through the turn. Here's the hole shot. You'll see Montana Jess right there in the middle trying to get out front fast.
He was on the opposite side of the pole than your number 1 qualifier, Zach Mason. Just found a little bit better line. Mason slotted back, but even now, Zach Mason sitting in 5th place.
The hole shot means a lot, and it has meant the lead right now for Montana Jess. Over the AMSOIL finish line and into the FXR turn, still holding on as we are now 10 laps to go in this feature race for the Pro Light division.
Once he shook Daniel Benham's initial charge, he's now put about a 1.4 second lead between he and the rest of the field. It's a really good battle between Benham and Cole Coutu. Coutu only about 0.5 of a second behind that 2nd place Arctic Cat of Daniel Benham.
And you saw that roost hit Cole Coutu right in the face right there as Benham tries to get away from him. Your leader continues to be Montana Jess, but here is the battle for 2nd and 3rd. The 21 looks to the inside. Coutu tries to make a move. It won't work there.
No, it wasn't close enough, and even if he was, there could have been some pretty ugly contact there. So you watch him as he goes outside. Cole Coutu trying to run the outside. You see Benham. Benham again, now this time coming down low. Coutu right behind him.
And in the back right behind him, you might see him in a minute. That's Elias Ishul right there, who's made his way to 4th spot from the back row. And Elias Ishul is not out of this yet. Plenty of laps for the young man out of Norway.
Oh, and I'll tell you what, there's always excitement when you talk about the 200 Skidoo.
Let's go down to Carly Applin right by the racetrack. Carly?
Hey guys, joining me, Keith Musa from Cole Coutu's crew. Cole finishing 1st in the sport class last year, moving up to the Pro Light class. How's he doing out there? How have you guys prepped for this first race?
Well, he's running 3rd right now. I hope he can stay there. He's really strong. A lot of off-season training, and he's surrounded by some Pro Light veterans, so it's really been good for Cole's rookie year.
We'll let you guys get back to it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Guys?
I'm afraid we might have lost
We
him
might have.
during that interview.
Yeah,
I
we
think Cole
jinxed him.
Couture went off his sled while we were talking to his crew leader right there. We'll get more on that in a moment. Meanwhile, back up front, that's Montana Jess,
And
but look
look
who's
who's in
right
the
behind
frame.
him. We talked about it, and he takes the lead.
Took the
Elias
line.
Eschel took the line, and he's now taken the lead.
They're still trying to get Cole Couture's sled squared away in the top part, but they were able to get by in a yellow zone, and it is Eschel out front as he was able to get around Montana Jess. Just found the line, and this driver, you just never know where he's going to accelerate and how hard he's going to charge.
He came underneath the leader right here, did a little bit of boxing him out, but again, that's a clean move. Elias Eschel came in through the last chance qualifier. We said it during the LCQ. If there's anybody in this race that can win from the back row, it's Elias Eschel. Now, let's not count our chickens before they hatch, because this young man rides on the edge all the time. Anything can happen.
That's the thing, you know. He's out front now. Now you just got to be composed and, of course, run good lap times. You still need to be aggressive, but I mean, like that. Don't take the chance that you know you're going to crash.
I don't think you can take that out of a racer like Elias Eschel, though. The entire time, he's going to be riding on the edge, especially when you've got somebody in front of him who you're not racing for position, who's not getting out of his way. He finally does, and our leader gets away from him. Elias Eschel, it was right here in Duluth last year that we had his coming out party. The world got to know Elias Eschel here 1 year ago, and we're seeing why again right here tonight in Duluth. Here's your battle for second and third, Mike.
A couple of those skidoos again. They got Montana Jess, who was up front for quite a while, still sitting in second place. And then the 221 Arctic Cat of Daniel Benham. There's about a half a second between those two guys. You see Benham trying to find lines to get around Montana Jess. And, you know, both these guys a little frustrated, I would presume, being that the 200 skidoo was able to find lines and just kind of blast around them.
This battle hasn't changed since the very beginning of the race. The only thing that did change was the fact that Elias Eschel blew by both of them on his way to the lead here in the Pro Light Final in the first round of Duluth. The battle continues for second between Montana Jess and Daniel Benham, but there is your leader on that Makita sled, headed towards the Amsoil finish line to put another lap in the books. The number 200 out of Norway, that would be Elias Eschel on the skidoo for Makita GMC and NSK.
Watch him as he goes around, continuing to count down laps. A couple of laps left to go. He goes up the back part of the racetrack, and, you know, as we've said, every time you just don't know which line he's going to take. Into that corner, stays up high, ramps around that number 21 sled. That, of course, Cole Couture, who was running so well, then had the ugly off, now sitting back in 15th place.
Down the hill he comes. He looks over his shoulder. Your leader, Elias Eschel, takes the white flag. 1 lap to go from the back row through the LCQ to the final, and in the lead right now in Duluth. Elias Eschel, up the hill he goes one final time. Headed for the Air Force flyaway. Keeps her low to the ground this time.
I was going to say, it looks like he checked up just a little bit. Knows that he's got a pretty substantial lead. Almost 6 seconds. Just kind of holding it down a little bit. There you see one of the team members up there giving him the thumbs up. He's going to be your winner.
Down the hill comes Elias Eschel from 11th to the win here in Duluth. Elias Eschel has done it again in Duluth.
Second place is going to go to Montana Jess. A good run for Montana. And then third place will be Daniel Benham. Those two guys, of course, doing battle throughout most of the race.
He came from 11th for the win, and we will come back and talk to that young man about his victory. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Amsoil Championship Snowcross powered by Ram from Duluth, Minnesota.